Biden's gas policies may make driving your car more expensive, but now his policies are going to be literally destroying your car. In an effort to lower the dumpster fire gas prices plaguing the country, Biden is now allowing 15% ethanol gas to be put into the pumps. Here's that announcement.
But the Environmental Protection Agency is planning to issue an emergency waiver to allow E15 gasoline that uses more ethanol from homegrown crops to be sold across the United States this summer in order to increase fuel supply.
Of course, E15 is ethanol 15% or 15% ethanol gas. Now, before you go thinking that this is the best and Biden has single-handedly fixed gas prices, note that this will not have all that much effect on gas prices themselves. Secondly, E15 gas is typically banned from sale. You want to know why? E15 gas destroys your car. That's why you never get it. Building Element says, quote, ethanol can corrode many of the plastics, metals, and rubber components in internal combustion engines and their fuel systems. Hence, using fuel with a higher concentration of ethanol than the manufacturer recommends may damage your vehicle. This is a different font. It's weird. However, the article does say that most cars built after 2007 can handle the gas. If that is the case, then why is the gas usually banned? Well, for one, I don't think it's a risk we should take. There's still some risks that come with putting E15 ethanol in your car. E15 gas, anyway. Second of all, the people who should be affected the most by gas prices are the ones who buy cars from the early 2000s. Typically, those cars are cheaper and make better options for people in a lower income bracket. That lower income bracket is naturally going to be affected most by higher gas prices. So Biden's solution to help those people goes as follows. Destroy their cars. He's so desperate, so extremely desperate, that he's resorting to absolutely anything that sounds good to the American people. Even if it doesn't actually help the American people, Biden's going to choose the solutions that sound good to the ear, and not the ones that actually work. And this only leads for worse things for our country. As soon as Biden makes one mistake, which happened, as he puts it,
when I came to the United States Senate 120 years ago.
Anyway, since Biden has only done things that sound good to the American public, each and every action he takes makes America worse. Time for the weekly news. Alright, I'd first like to start off by saying that if you were the ref who somehow called the goal that wasn't actually a goal on my game, and made the game 2-2 instead of 2-1, that we should have won, then you, my friend, can suck it. And now that I've killed all of my audience retention, let's cover this. Biden's crappy policies have now come back to bite him, in the form of actual crap. Take a look.
A lot of that has to do with this industry.
That bird represents all of America. Every American's feelings toward Biden are represented within that single bird, yet that bird had the courage to follow through with it. I'm proposing now that we give that bird a Presidential Medal of Honor from the president who got pooped on. Now, Bloomberg's White House correspondent tried to brush that off, saying, quote, it was bits of corn flying around the silo. The event was indoors. Now first, just because the event was in a corn silo doesn't mean the birds usually aren't in there. The silos are designed to take in tractors and things like that. So, sure enough, there are some doors pretty large that birds can fit through. And if you were just listening to the audio version, a bird pooped on Biden. Birds can very easily fly into barns and silos, is the takeaway there. Secondly, the possibility of it being corn does exist, but take a closer look at the poop on his shoulder. It spreads as if it's liquid down his shoulder. That isn't what corn is supposed to do. So just know, whatever people try to tell you, a bird pooped on the president. During a speech in which he's supposed to be the most conscious of all of the times he's not actually very conscious, and he couldn't even be bothered to notice it. This is a national security issue. Biden couldn't even notice a bird pooping right next to his face. Imagine what happens if we go to war and he's in charge of the entire American military. This isn't going to go well. Secondly, Elon Musk may just buy Twitter outright. Last week, he bought approximately 9.2% of Twitter, becoming Twitter's largest shareholder. He then was appointed to Twitter's board of directors. But then he declined to join. Why, you ask? Well, if he were to join the board of directors, he wouldn't be able to buy more than 14.9% of the company. Recently, Musk just offered to buy the entire company. Bloomberg News reported that Musk offered to buy all of Twitter for $54.20 per share in cash. That is significantly more than the company is even valued. And yet people on the internet are shouting, saying that Musk is a terrible person for doing this. Now, this gives away what leftism is in a nutshell. Musk has said openly that his main goal with Twitter is to promote free speech on the platform. To oppose this is to oppose free speech on Twitter, and there's no easy way for leftists to say that they do, but this gives it all away. Anyone who opposes Musk buying Twitter opposes free speech on the platform. That's the simple truth. Also, they're racist, because Elon Musk was actually born in South Africa. Now for the worst of the week. You may have heard of the once-existent show known as The View. Apparently people still watch it. Strange. And a clip from it became pretty popular this week. First of all, we get the lady from The View, forgive me for assuming her gender, who's supposed to be conservative, yet she's anything but.
I still advise a number of Republicans in one issue that I have, or two issues I've told them, across the board, you will lose the younger generation, 35 and down, is if you do not come around on marriage equality and climate change. The country's mind is made up. I'm someone who believes you can believe what you want in your church. I'm Episcopalian, I have certain beliefs in my church, but it is the law of the land that you can marry who you love, and that is a good thing.
Sorry, I'm just watching a lizard do push-ups outside of this window. What? What is going on? I'll try to ignore that. So her argument for getting people to turn to conservatism is to get rid of conservatism. Do you see the problem here? All that will happen is there essentially becomes one ideology throughout the entire country, and that ideology, I feel comfortable saying, is the wrong one. And also, why would someone who is interested in gun control and gay marriage even want to turn to the Republican Party, when the Democratic Party has been doing that for years? This is going to lead to the end of the Republican Party, not the revitalization, why would I put that in a script, of it. It's also going to destroy traditional values of religion, and speaking of which, we get another lady from The View, whose name I don't know, just like the other one, making some pretty oblivious claims.
Having the right to choose who you want to be and not being made to feel shame is what democracy is.
Well, and I
Who
think we all agree on
decided
that.
a traditional marriage is a man and a woman? Who came up with this plan?
Alright, first of all, who in the heck ever said democracy was, quote, being able to be who you want to be without feeling shame? I mean, we did the whole Greek philosophy unit about democracy a few years ago. I'm pretty sure that never came up once, even with all of the weird gay Greek philosophers. Democracy is where people get to vote on things happening in their country. That's significantly different than whatever this lady thinks. For the left, anything they like is instantly democracy. Instantly. Without question. Also, you should sometimes feel shame for what you want to be. By her logic, I could want to be a murderer and feel no shame. Heck, that could be an argument for slavery. As to who came up with a plan known as marriage, that would be, the name's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, right, God? Heck, most politicians believed in marriage being between a man and a woman 20 years ago. Take a look at Joe Biden himself, the left's latest hero from a couple of years ago.
Look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that.
That is not a fake clip. That is a real thing. The idea of gay marriage is a very modern idea, and it is not a good one. Joy Behar, whose name I only know by looking it up, goes on to say that she thinks that homosexuality isn't even mentioned in the Bible. And she's right as long as you don't acknowledge most of the Bible. Yeah, she's right, except, of course, for a majority of the letters written by the apostles, but making that minor exception. She's entirely right. No, all of these women are just babbling nonsensically, and people actually watch and listen to them. That's a problem. This is changing our country for the worse. And that's why The View is the worst of this week. And if you want to learn more about the gas prices I talked about earlier, go check out this video over here. Thanks for listening. Go get him.